The Ravens Flock presents The Black Files, an uncensored interview and review podcast for all geek fandom.
Welcome everybody, friends and pals, guys and gals, boys and girls around the world. Pop a squat, pop open a courtroom with your boys. It is a brand new Monday, we're in a brand new week, and you are listening in to a brand new episode of The Black Files.
Yeah, The Black Files.
What a maneuver!
What a maneuver! Yes.
Welcome everybody to the uncensored interview and review podcast from the Ravens Flock, The Black Files. I am your host, Juan and Jose, one of the heads of the Ravens Flock, and on this episode, it's just myself and the head of the Ravens Flock himself, Jose Casabona.
I am the Vince McMahon of the Ravens Flock.
Oh, you wish.
Without the old age.
With more like the Ted Turner of the Ravens of the Ravens Flock.
Fuck you.
I colorized the moon.
Oh my God, go on.
You just broke the fuck barrier. But that's fine because we're going to get to that in a second. And on this episode, in case you can't tell, we are going to be doing our review of the grandest live entertainment spectacle ever. Jesus, I hate that they were trying to watch.
Can I do this? Can I do it?
Welcome.
Welcome to WrestleMania.
Okay, that was horrible.
You need to have a little more guttural if you're doing Vince McMahon. Oh yeah, you're right. He's gotten older and
he's gotten old. All right. That's right, folks. We are a week removed from the incredible 34th edition of WrestleMania, World Wrestling Entertainment's Super Bowl of professional wrestling, although you would never get that from the way they promote it, is the live entertainment spectacular. Like they don't even try to call it sports entertainment anymore. They're trying to call it live entertainment. Dude, shut the fuck up.
Live
it's
entertainment.
It's pro wrestling.
They're superstars.
It's pro wrestling. It's shut the fuck up.
The world's greatest performers.
Shut the fuck up. Okay, yeah, no.
Go on.
All right, and in case you can't tell, for our first-time listeners, I don't know who the hell is listening for the first time at this point. As we mentioned at the beginning of every one of our programs, this is an uncensored interview and review podcast. We will be giving spoilers of any subject we talk about. We will be talking about plot lines, and we'll be giving our own opinions that may or may not mesh with your worldview. And, of course, those opinions are strictly our own and no one else's. So if this is far too much for your fragile sensibilities, then feel free to tune out now.
But don't worry, all the opinions that we're going to be sharing about WrestleMania will definitely coincide with yours. Because
no, it won't. No, like there's shit that we say that people wouldn't agree with.
Yeah, true.
And to that we say, open your minds and your hearts and open your souls to us. Let us in. Let us in like a dream. You're dreaming about the Ravens Flock. Ooh. You're in the middle of the night. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to do. Am I trying to hypnot people?
I don't know, man.
I don't fucking know.
Let's go on.
Okay. For those, and in case you haven't noticed from the way we discuss shit on our programs, particularly on the Black Files as well, we love pro wrestling. We love it. We've loved it since we were children.
Hells yeah. We were wrestling fans for years.
Yep. We used to host WrestleMania parties as teenagers, as in we would get the pay-per-view. We would ask our buddies to bring like $5 or $10 each, and or
it was freaking awesome,
and or bring snacks as well. Actually, no, we provided the snacks, didn't we?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we provided the snacks. They would all come over. They'd spot me the money. I'd pay that back to our mom. Thanks, Mom, for letting us order the pay-per-view.
Of course, this doesn't mean that we haven't stopped doing it. I mean, we still watch WrestleMania when we can.
Yeah, exactly, and it's a tradition. It is a piece of Americana by now, and not gonna lie, it's gotten a little overinflated over the last couple of years. How long was this freaking show?
Apparently, it went on past midnight.
Yeah, it went on to like midnight-ish, like 12,
sort
15
of, yeah.
or some shit. But like the official start of it was when? 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock?
7 o'clock, yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah, it was like 7 o'clock, I think. And then at 5 o'clock they had a pre-show which streams live on YouTube. And if you're watching this episode of the Ravens Flock podcast on YouTube, then yeah, you should know about that.
Exactly. Now, of course, while we talk about this WrestleMania match and any other topics of the Black Files, yes, the opinions are going to be our own, but you'll also hear certain instances where me and Juan and any other members of the Ravens Flock will disagree with each other's opinions, but that's okay.
And then we will beat each other up until someone's right.
Yes.
Yes. Although,
anyways, let's talk about the cock-off panel.
Oh my God, shut up. Right. Okay, like this is geared mainly for our internet wrestling community here. Everyone who knows Little Karibo, who is best known for the Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series. He also recently, until the end of WrestleMania 34 here, came up with a little satire wrestling review show called The Mark Remark.
No, you have to say it right. It's The Mark Remark.
No, geez, is that the best Little Karibo voice you could do?
I tried. Okay.
No, you need to actually get into the silly voice that he's trying to do. And Little Karibo, I promise we're not trying to rip you off. I'm just paying homage here. Hello, my fellow Marks, and welcome to another episode of the Mark Remark.
Oh no, you want to rip people off? Try saying that, but with the voice of Ollie Davis. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Mark Remark.
Okay,
I'm Ollie Davis.
Jose's gotten into Wrestle Talk TV, so have I.
Oh yeah, I'm crossing shows here.
Are we gonna be sending this to Wrestle Talk and sending this to Little Karibo?
Maybe that. I don't know. It depends. You think they'll demand royalties?
What royalties? What royalties? We're broke. Why do you think we have a Patreon and no one's signed up for it yet? Come on, guys, show us some Patreon.
All right,
love.
right. Let's get to the pre-show.
Kickoff show.
Yeah,
it's a pre-show. They stream it live on YouTube. They had it on the USA Network also, did they?
That is correct.
Okay. Well, that was a 2-hour-long show, and what they did was they had 3 matches. The first match was the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. The second match was the finale, the finals of the Cruiserweight Championship Tournament for 205 Live, which was between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali. And there was the first ever WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal as well. Those of you who aren't aware, it was originally going to be named the Fabulous Moolah Memorial Women's Battle Royal.
Look how quickly the internet reacted.
Yeah, no, until it was like a week later, or how long did it take for them to change?
Not even a week. It was like a couple of days after.
Yeah, it was like
Jesus
a couple days
Christ.
later. A couple days later, they removed the Fabulous Moolah's name and mention on it due to the fact that there is horrible rumors about Moolah pimping female wrestlers out for the last last 20 or 30 years of her life, or I don't know, however long, and how the Fabulous Moolah was single-handedly responsible for the retirement of the original World Wrestling Federation Women's Tag Team Championship. There's rumors going on these days that they're planning on trying to revitalize the women's tag titles. My personal opinion on that would simply be we've already got 2 women's divisions, one on Raw and one on SmackDown. If you don't count the one for for NXT, so that's 3 women divisions. So having a women's tag team division on each one of those, shoot me. That's like, holy crap, that's a lot of titles. How's anybody going to keep up?
But yeah, basically based on all the shit that's happened, and mind you, apparently from what I've heard from other sources, that Stephanie McMahon was not made aware of this. They changed it to simply the Women's Battle Royal, which is an okay save. There are plenty of other iconic women in the WWE that they could have named it after,
like the Trish Stratus Invitational, and have Trish Stratus herself show up, hand the trophy off, and
the Stratosphere Women's Battle Royal.
No, not the Stratosphere.
Okay, fine.
Like the Trish Stratus Invitational Battle Royal or something like that,
or something, or Lita, for goodness sake.
Yeah, Lita's works too. I don't know, but yeah, at this point they could have changed that, but that's beside the point. They just gave it as generic looking trophy.
Yeah, let's talk
moving along. Let's actually get down to the matches.
Let's talk about the Andre the Giant the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
There was
the same battle royal
hours.
the same battle royal where 4 superstars won the match, but the WWE went nowhere with them.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like this big launching platform for up-and-comers. Like, oh, hey, if you win this is a prestigious thing. You're going to be pushed. You're going to be recognized, guys. Who was the last winner of it last year?
Mojo Rawley.
Mojo Rawley. And what are they doing with him now?
They had him break up the tag team with a former fellow hype bro Zack Ryder, and now they're not doing anything with him.
Such a big push! Oh my God! What a maneuver! Yeah, no, like you've got to do something better with these people. Like, you got to remember that these guys are holders of these prestigious awards. Like, fucking do something. It's like that picture that we put up, trying to call out Anime Matt Story.
Exactly.
Like, do something. Come on.
Exactly.
We'll get to the do something jokes later. That
they
involves
did
another match.
something with Cesaro, the first winner. They did something with the Big Show. They did something with Baron Corbin a year later.
Yeah, and now they did nothing with Mojo Rawley. And this time around, we had an interesting winner with interesting circumstances involved. The leader of the Woken Warriors, Woken Matt Hardy.
Yes. After rendering all other opponents obsolete, Matt Hardy did win the Battle Royal with help of fellow Woken Bray Wyatt.
Yep. For those of you who aren't aware of this, that like Matt Hardy, who's like famously known as one of the legendary tag teams, the Hardy Boys, him and Jeff Hardy, in the last couple of years in other promotions like Ring of Honor and Impact Wrestling, he came up with a storyline of Jeff Hardy's fame and notoriety overshadowing his own, and it's gotten so bad that he became a broken man, and he got this Sweeney Todd streak in his long dark hair. So he's got this big bleach white streak in his hair. He started growing out of his beard. He started wearing these crushed velvet suits and started to talk in a weirdo accent.
Yeah,
and he went nuts. He went totally banana balls. He was broken Matt Hardy.
Wancho, his accent wasn't weird or bizarre. His accent and his way of talking is derived from a period where people used to speak in such distinctiveness that
it's weird.
That in this time of age, it's been overlooked and overshadowed.
Joseph, I'm the head of bullshit around here. I know bullshit from a mile away, and that's horrible bullshit. Don't give me that bullshit. It is weird, and it is fun weird. People,
and it works.
Since then, like Matt Hardy is on his own dime produced like short film matches at his home compound in where is it? North Carolina?
Cameron, North Carolina.
Cameron, North Carolina. Thank you. And fucking what do you call it? For instance, his main fight with him and his brother Jeff was known as the Final Deletion, and he defeated Jeff Hardy and owns the right to the Hardy name. He couldn't even use his own name, and so Jeff had abandoned his persona, and he became Brother Nero, as Matt would call him, because his middle name was Nero. So
and the Broken Hardys actually got over, not just in their former promotion in Impact Wrestling, but in other independent promotions. And eventually, when they came around to the WWE, it took them a while, but they got Woken Matt Hardy.
Yep, and that was all because of a storyline with him and Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt's supposed to be this guy who's like this evil voodoo bayou swamp man wizard cult leader kind of character. But the problem, it's creepy and it's cool. And
but the problem is that they didn't do much with him before the Final Deletion.
Before the match that he had with Matt.
Yeah,
like Bray Wyatt is like, he's an excellent worker, but you can only job off people for so long before you need to refresh your steps. So what they wound up doing with him is they took him and put him together with Woken Matt Hardy. They have a storyline of Matt Hardy saying like, oh no, you're possessed from this evil spirit, Sister Abigail, that Bray Wyatt was always referring to as the source of his power. And people were saying like, oh, what is this Sister Abigail? It was about to be just Bray Wyatt in drag, and but they nixed that, thankfully. And they wound up going with this creepy angle. And Matt Hardy made it his personal mission to exorcise the spirit of Sister Abigail from him and to delete her. Delete. Okay, I'm not going to get into the deletion.
Then we had
another rendition of sort of like the final deletion they had in Impact Wrestling.
Yeah.
But this time against Bray Wyatt, and he called it the ultimate deletion.
Which was awesome.
People are like, it's awesome and corny and dumb and good and bad and hysterically brilliant all at once. It has been hailed as the room of professional wrestling. I did not body slam her. It's not true.
I did not.
It's bullshit. I did not body slam her. I did not.
Oh, hi, Brock.
Fuck Brock. We'll get to Brock in a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so at the end of it, Bray Wyatt was defeated in the match and was thrown into the quote-unquote Lake of Reincarnation in Matt Hardy's home estate.
Which he strangely disappeared from.
Yep, and then he resurfaced at WrestleMania, still in his own gear and all, but now he's woken to the ideology and to the light of Matt Hardy, and now they're a tag team, and now they're working together.
Yeah, the last moments of the match was Bray Wyatt that came in with Matt Hardy and Baron Corbin. And Matt Hardy was building up that he will win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and so did Baron Corbin, except the difference is Matt Hardy has been doing it vocally while Baron has been doing it physically.
Yep, Matt Hardy's been cutting promos, and he's like, oh, the statue of Andre the Giant is speaking to me. It wants me to procure it. Yes.
Which Baron Corbin, all he did was just end of days.
It just
beat the shit
people
out of
up.
Yes.
Yeah, like, it's like
he doesn't need to talk.
But on the other hand, he kind of fucking needs to talk.
Yeah, he does.
Anyway, the point is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, it lasted a total of 15 minutes, 45 seconds, and it ended with Woken Matt Hardy winning the match.
Now, I have a question about this match.
All right, real quick, because we got to move on. We already spent 60 minutes on this.
Don't you think it's a little too soon to bring back Bray Wyatt?
Nope.
Really? Also, if he's woken, how come he still looks the same?
Do you have any idea how expensive professional wrestling outfits are?
Yeah, but fucking Matt Hardy did it himself.
Do you have any idea how expensive it is?
I don't know.
It's pretty expensive, and I can guarantee you that Bray Wyatt probably didn't have the time or cash on him to get new duds made. Anyway, moving along. So let's move along to the next
fine.
match.
I like the finish. I'm a little puzzled about Bray Wyatt coming back, but anyways.
At least they're giving it to someone that they can say that at least he's over and people will be getting behind it, and let's see where they go from here. All right, next match was the Cruiserweight Championship tournament final between Cedric Alexander and Mustafa Ali.
I'll cover this little history bit here, and I'll try and do it as fast as I can. Now, fucking 205 Live is basically, you can't call it its own brand yet. It's basically a subsidiary from Monday Night Raw, because all the Cruiserweights are from Raw. It started off with the Cruiserweight Classic that they had, that was won by TJ Perkins, now named TJP. He was the first ever WWE Cruiserweight Champion.
Why do they call him TJP now? What's wrong with Perkins?
I don't know. It's Vince. He's stupid. Anyways, and unfortunately, 205 Live wasn't doing well as far as ratings goes. So, and you can look up the research and find out why on your own time. After moving Enzo Amore to 205 Live, because he knows how to get the crowd going, he knows how to work the mic, he knows how to get over. Enzo Amore became Cruiserweight Champion after beating Neville, which I thought was bullshit.
Let's move on, because the shit with Enzo Amore
No. And I'm getting to the part. Then, of course, we all know what happened with Enzo. The less we talk about it, the better. After that bullshit with him, he advocated the Cruiserweight Championship.
After they fired him.
And they hosted a tournament to crown the new WWE.
It's not advocated or abdicated. Is it abdicate? I don't know.
That's what Daniel Bryan said.
Abdicate. Let's just say vacate.
After he vacated the Cruiserweight Championship, they start. Drake Maverick
was the general manager of 205 Live, so I guess it's its own brand.
Yes,
I don't fucking
started put together a tournament to crown the new Cruiserweight Champion at WrestleMania.
Yep, it was nice. They had a couple weeks to lead up to it, and the guys who were competing, there was a little bit of a story. It's that these guys are good friends, and this is friendly competition. But at the end of the day, only one of them could be champion, and they were trying hard to push this. No, shut. They're closer than brothers, but now we gotta fight each other. Fuck you, 4Kids. No matter what.
Go on.
Oh, God. Okay, so, they were also pushing this video package, which no one will deny that WWE is the best when it comes to making these video promo segments to give you a recap or give you the angle going into these stories and into these matches.
Oh, of course.
Like with Mustafa Ali and Cedric Alexander, they angled it as, one of them has the heart to be champion and the other one is the soul to be champion. They were even shouting at each other at the middle of the match. I'm like, aren't you guys just throttle back? You don't you don't go full. You don't go full bore idiot into this. Come on. There's only so much catchphrasing that you can do, but they were catchphrasing like crazy in the middle of the match, and that match actually lasted 12 minutes 20 seconds on this one. And at the end, we crowned a brand new cruiserweight champion in the form of Cedric Alexander.
A couple things I wanted to say. First off, I like the gear that they entered with in the ring. Fucking Mustafa Ali looks like Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. That's awesome. Secondly, yes, the match was good. The match was fast-paced. A lot of awesome moves that they did. And I actually, and honestly, I didn't know that until I found the meme picture. Fucking Cedric Alexander actually made history in WrestleMania as being the first African-American superstar to actually win a championship.
Yeah, that was actually something that people really didn't pay attention to or hype up or anything. But as it turns out, no, you're right. Cedric Alexander is the first African-American pro wrestler to win a title at WrestleMania or to be crowned champion at WrestleMania.
And yeah, in my personal opinion, that match should have been part of the main WrestleMania card.
To be perfectly honest, the entire thing should have been part of the main card. But then again, that's 7 hours worth of stuff, and people are losing their minds already. This is insane. So at the end of it, there was no hard feelings from what I could tell, and it looks like everybody came out okay. Jim Cornette's one main gripe about this was that we prescribe
too much flippy.
No, not too flippy. It's that it was a little too clean for the movement. You want there to be a little bit of grit. You want there to be a little bit of, oh crap, what am I going to do next motions in the ring, while these guys were click, 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 move, which is fine, and that's good if you want to keep from killing each other, but you also want to give a sense of, okay, I'm in the middle of a competition with someone. What's my next step? How am I going to take him down next? And so he wasn't 100% crapping on it, but he's like, you want people to see, especially if you're on a camera, you want people to see that you're trying to figure out what you're going to do with your opponent. You don't want it to look so polished.
Yeah.
Polish is good, but just leave a little bit of scuff, just a little bit on the side to show, hey, these guys are in a competition.
Oh, yeah. Well, a lesson to learn from next time.
I hope so, if they ever listen. And the last match on the pre-show, as Jose calls it, the kickoff show, whatever, is the WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal.
Yeah, I didn't care too much about it.
No, the trouble is that we didn't get to catch that one at the end. I don't know why.
I mean, I saw video clips of it. Naomi won the match. Which is okay, I guess.
She's an excellent wrestler, and that's not an issue. Obviously, she's over with the fans. She's got
of course.
this awesome little Dayglow motif going on with her outfits.
And it's not just the Raw and
that.
SmackDown women's. They also included women from NXT.
That's right. There were a couple ladies from NXT. There were 20 women in total.
Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, the Iconics.
Yep. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Lovely. And at the end of it, the ladies were, the NXT ladies were standing tall. They were trying to make a statement, make a name for themselves. The last couple ladies were Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Naomi. And there was this long little rivalry going on between Sasha Banks and Bayley. For those of you who know them, they are they are two of some of the ladies who've been dubbed the 4 horsewomen of the WWE.
And they're best friends.
No, we're not gonna go into that song again. No. Okay. No,
go
we
on,
can't.
go on.
Okay, so fucking what do you call it? There's this bit with Bailey being the good guy in this, Sasha being turning heel, like, hey, we're friends, but I'm not gonna go easy on you or whatever. And Bailey just gets smothered half the time. I hate saying that, man, because like she really needs something new to give her the edge that people will gravitate towards. Is if you're super nice and super great to people, that's fine. But if you're being shown as a pushover, like unfortunately Bailey's being shown,
which is bullshit.
It's bullshit. Like she doesn't deserve that. She deserves to be shown as a marquee warrior out to kick people's butt. Like even if they're friends, like yeah, I'm gonna kick your butt. I don't care. Like what do you call it? That's what these girls are supposed to be doing. Sasha Banks is healing it up. She's showing off like I'll take whatever avenue to success I can. So at the end of it, Bailey gives Sasha Banks her comeuppance at the end of the match and throws her out and eliminates her, only to
have Naomi throw her out from
herself.
behind. Yeah.
So like, and that's fine. Naomi definitely deserves it. We're not going to say that she doesn't. She works hard.
Yeah, no.
But like that was very odd, but okay. I guess we can live with that. That match lasted a total of 9 minutes 50 seconds, about less than half the time of the men's battle royal. All right, that's all just for the pre-show, folks. We're about 20 minutes into our podcast here. Let's see if we can shit the rest of these stinking matches
boy,
in.
Here we go.
Okay. Let's see. There was the first match, which I have no idea why this one was the first match. It is the Intercontinental Championship triple threat match. The Miz, Mike Mizanin, who was the defending Intercontinental Champion. No, you're not wrong, but let's keep our opinions until I can get the intro out.
Okay, go on.
God damn it. All right, the champion, The Miz, the Intercontinental Champion, defends in a triple threat match against Seth Rollins and Finn Balor. Finn Balor, known as Prince Devitt, one of the founders of the Bullet Club, the ever so popular in the indie heel faction that's taking New Japan Pro Wrestling, Ring of Honor, and all these like other independent promotions by storm, because these guys go between promotions and they're like dominant. Prince Devitt, he left that and then he came in as Finn Balor into the WWE. He took that beautiful charisma and the heelness that he does with him. He was in as a babyface this time. He's not like really the bad guy.
No, of course not.
Then we have, of course, Seth Rollins, who was formerly a member of the Shield, which is a 3-man team of himself, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. We'll get to that in a little while.
No, of course not. And then after the breakup of 2014 in June, he branched out on his own, and holy shit, he made a success out of himself.
Yep. When was it? 2015, when he performed what they called the heist of the century at WrestleMania.
Yeah, he cashed in and he won.
Okay, that was an asshole thing to do. Like that year, 2015, we had a World Heavyweight Championship match between Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns. Pay attention to this. This is important, folks. Roman Reigns was a Royal Rumble winner. Brock Lesnar was World Heavyweight Champion. Nobody wanted to see this match because Roman Reigns is being spoon-fed to the people, and no one wants to see him win. And Brock Lesnar is an asshole who's only in it for the money, and no one wants to see him win either. But they were hell-bent and determined to have this match until at the last minute, Seth Rollins shows up with a Money in the Bank briefcase, which allowed him to challenge the champion at any time for up to a year. He's won it a little while ago, so he inserted himself into the main event of WrestleMania. He won the WWE Championship, and like he went balls to the wall from there. This time he's fighting for the IC title, the Intercontinental title, which is held by The Miz, reality TV a star turned pro wrestler. He's a big fan of the business. He's grown into the asshole you love to hate, basically. He's got himself like this prima donna, I'm a superstar film star persona because he's been on a couple of WWE studio films that are direct to video.
Who gives a shit?
No, exactly. That's the whole point. But it's this whole bit. This triple threat match was relatively well made. Finn Balor came out and everyone was loving him. He was showing love to the LGBT community locally there in New Orleans, Louisiana, which is where WrestleMania took place. Seth Rollins showed up. He was ready and geared for war. They call it the White Walker shit. Like they're trying to do a Game of Thrones shit with him. Like, come on, guys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, like, but it's like, come on, it's a little force fed, just a little bit. And of course, the Miz, he's trying to come off like, oh no, I've changed now. I'm a father now. I'm so much. No, you're not, dude. You're still an a-hole. As a matter of fact, you're an even bigger a-hole now because of it. I don't fucking know. Point is, the match went on okay, and it went on for 15 minutes, 30 seconds, and
Rollins came out on top.
Yep, Seth Rollins wins the Intercontinental Championship. Personally, I would have preferred that Finn Balor wins.
Finn Balor needed the win, but
needs the win.
I mean, I understand Seth Rollins' part. Seth Rollins has never captured the Intercontinental Championship.
Whatever, we don't.
No, you know what? Personally, in my opinion,
what?
I don't care which one of those two would win, because what I wanted, I got. The Miz losing the fucking title.
Wow, that is vindictive, Joe.
Yes, it is. I'm sorry, guys. I really hate him. He has been a one-note character since 2009 or 2010 that he kept playing off as this A-lister prima donna.
God, it's ridiculous. But you know what? Like,
even as a babyface, he
wasn't really a babyface. He was over here trying to say, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm a guy who's just does it for himself or whatever. Like, I'm like, guy, dude, come on. You've got there's alignments when it comes to pro wrestling. You know, we don't get to have neutral good and chaotic evil. Like, there's good guy and bad guy when it comes to this stuff. So we weren't it wasn't exactly played off in a way where we could tell who's the definitive guy. Like, people know that the Miz is an a-hole, but that's not how it was translated in the story. He came out, looked like fucking Boruto out there. Not Naruto with the headband, Boruto, okay?
That was stupid.
That was dumb. But like, he looked like a mix between that and the Red Ranger in the ninja uniforms.
Uh-huh.
You know?
Yeah, no.
Which is funny, but you know, that's fine. That's his thing. I don't care.
Yeah.
That has nothing to do with the actual match itself. The match went well. Obviously, you can't really fault any of these guys in not having any talent. As much as you might hate the Miz can you say definitively that he's bad in the ring? Can you say that? Yes or no?
He's good on the mic, but I'm sorry. I've seen his work compared to the other work, and I'm sorry, man. I don't believe that he is a good wrestler.
Why not?
He doesn't do any of the other moves that everyone does. Like, when was the last time you seen the Miz do a suplex? What was the last time you've seen the Miz do any of the traditional wrestling moves that they've done? I mean, he clobbers people from behind. He locks into fucking figure four, which, by the way, why the fuck is he doing that? And all he does is his fucking skull crushing finale, and then that's it. I'm sorry, Juan. I really don't like anything about this guy.
Well, that's your opinion, I guess. I'll have to strangle you with the microphone later, but
yeah, go on.
Okay, obviously we're not going to agree on that, but the point is, my opinion is, with The Miz, he is definitely better than most people give him credit for in terms of the way he competes. But I guess with you is like he leaves something to be desired. But I don't know. But yeah, no, my opinion, Finn Balor should have definitely won. All right. The next match that we had was for the SmackDown Women's Championship. This was the reigning champion Charlotte Flair, the daughter of the Nature Boy Ric Flair, versus the undefeated Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka.
Yes.
Like, if Angel were here right now, he'd be gushing over Asuka right this second. Mainly because of how she presents herself storyline-wise and shit. Okay, Asuka is exciting. She is she is obviously, she's a Japanese wrestler. She's incredibly talented. She is very technically savvy, and her style is like, Angel says she's a goddamn JoJo character, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. And like, there's fan art about Asuka that people just go banana balls over. And there's fan art about Charlotte Flair now too because of this match.
Yeah,
And, like, they're calling Charlotte Flair the queen or whatever. Like, so it's a queen versus empress, champion versus the undefeated.
Based on what I've read and what I've listened to, this was literally the best match of WrestleMania.
Well, that's all still subjective though. Like it's definitely one of the top 3 matches of the fucking night. I'll say that much right now. I'll tell you what my other top 2 matches were.
Yeah, we'll get to that later. But yeah, no, these guys, these ladies.
Yeah, and lest we forget, the way Asuka won the right to become champion is by becoming the very first women's Royal Rumble winner. Earlier this year, we had a Royal Rumble match with all the ladies, and Asuka won that match. So this became a big deal. This became a big marquee deal. And Asuka had been undefeated for about 2.5 years now, roughly, right?
Yes.
So this was a streak versus title almost. Because,
did she surpass the undefeated streak of Goldberg?
I don't remember. Go ahead and look that up.
I'll look that up later. Let's just continue. Let's just talk about the match. Okay, so
at the end of the day,
I like the way Charlotte Flair came out.
Yeah, no, Charlotte Flair had this beautiful golden throne with golden manservants.
She's got the touch.
And she's got big golden robe with peacock feathers over her crown or whatever. And they gave all of these ladies just fucking stellar fucking movements here. They these two, they nailed it. They were technically sound. They were wrestling like crazy. They were telling a story with how physical they were being,
how they keep countering each other's moves. I liked when Charlotte executed the backflip Uranagi slam for the top rope.
Jesus Christ, that was beautiful. It was absolutely stunning. And folks are on the one hand like holy shitting themselves. On the other hand, holy shitting on the match for a spot where Charlotte Flair and Asuka perform a Spanish fly move and both come off the outside to the outside of the ring and hit the floor. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm gonna refer to Jim Cornette a lot because, well, the beautiful old man, as brilliant as he is, he knows what he's talking about. When it comes to this stuff, like, he knows this business. People complain that he's too old school, but fuck it, I will defer to his experience.
Go on.
Like, his one complaint is that, why would you have these ladies do such a big high spot out to the outside of the ring that is much more dangerous to women than it is to men? Because in his words, they have a lot less body fat than men do. They have a lot less body mass. They can seriously break themselves. We don't want that to happen. So he's looking out, but he loved the match, and I fucking love the match.
I don't know. I know. I'm just gonna give a theory. Like, I don't know. Maybe while they were working, maybe heading up to WrestleMania, I don't know. Maybe they agreed to do it. Maybe.
You're rambling. Get to a theory.
Okay, let me just get straight to the point. At the end of it all, I liked the whole struggle when she finally locked in the figure 8, and she did it with one hand.
Like, the reason why she did it with one hand, by the way, was because during the match, Asuka had been attacking Charlotte's left arm, and you could tell that Charlotte's selling it, and that she was hurting.
She was selling it, and it was also building up because I love the way you remember in the past how Asuka locks in the armbar.
Yes. So it was almost as
if you even try and poke at her, she'll lock you in.
Yeah, so it's looked as if she was leading into doing that, but then she got her in a triangle lock or something, right?
Yeah.
And that got her in serious trouble, and Charlotte was trying to get out of that shit. At the end of it, the whole thing is that Charlotte's figure 8 leg lock is a figure 4 with her also doing a handstand arch to get extra elevation. So obviously, if you're going to be doing a handstand, you need both your hands. She attacks one of your hands, makes it harder. It makes it more dangerous to yourself to do than to inflict the pain on your opponent. But at the end of it, Charlotte wound up locking in the figure 8, and she did it with one arm with a handstand because her left arm's injured and stuff. And that was still it was big and it was incredible. And Asuka, for the very first time in her in-ring career, tapped out. She submitted. She lost her match. She lost a match. And at the end of it, and you were called this, by the way, Jose, you predicted this. You said, okay, this needs to be a big time match no matter who wins or loses. They need to hug it out afterwards because this is looking incredible. And at the end of it, what did Asuka do? She grabbed a mic and she proclaimed to the whole world like her big catchphrase has been, for those of you who don't know this shit, her big catchphrase has been, "You like no one is ready for Asuka." On this night, she proclaimed Charlotte Flair was ready for Asuka. Congratulations! She's crying, they're hugging, and they're holding each other's hands, and like
best friends.
they're not. Don't give me that crap. No, it's mutual respect and honor and shit. You know, that's like something that you don't get from half the shit with the guys these days. We'll get to that in a little bit.
Oh yeah. I'm probably gonna get shat on for what I'm about to say, but here's why I don't mind this kind of finish myself. Because of the way they were building up the match between Charlotte Flair and Asuka, all the promos and just everything leading up to it, where it's come to a point where it didn't matter who would win because their match is gonna be fucking stellar. You have Asuka, who's a veteran female wrestler from Japan. And then you have Charlotte Flair, who is really damn good in the ring. And she's gone through a lot. Her Flair family is like...
the Flair family has had their ups and downs over the years. Her father, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, the 16-time world champion. You will never forget that. Recently retired a few years back. Her brother had passed away around WrestleMania time a few years back. So WrestleMania season is very difficult for her. So that's another factor there. But that's not really the point of...
It's still my opinion, and I don't appreciate you rushing me.
Well, we're on the fucking clock, Jose. We're 40 minutes in. We're not even finished with the fucking show. We gotta get the ball
You
moving.
agreed to this.
Yes, I agreed to this, and we're on the clock. Now, listen up. At the end of it, like, people were complaining that Asuka needed to continue undefeated and stay champion forever. But then, how long can you stay undefeated? How long can you stay undefeated without it becoming boring, without it becoming a problem, without people saying, "Oh, here we go. Here comes the new champion, Asuka. She's just winning and bulldozing people."
I mean, it could have been worse. It could have been Carmella coming in with a stun gun.
Shut the fuck up. Like, come on, man. Like, I'm trying to prove a point.
Go on.
The point is, Charlotte Flair didn't need the win. Asuka didn't need the win. But who would it serve better to have the victory? Or rather, at this case, who would it serve better to be defeated in this? With Charlotte, it would cement her as one of the all-time greats. With Asuka, it would cement her as being someone who can evolve. Because if you're undefeated for forever and a day, and if you don't evolve out of that, then you're stuck. You're fucked. I don't give a damn. You would be stuck up shit creek without a paddle if you do not evolve as a character.
I was going to say, do you need my help on this? Because it looks like you're doing fine by yourself.
I'm just trying to concretize the point that you're trying to make, that you said you had no problem with Charlotte winning the match.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have a problem who won this match, because in the end, they had a damn good match. It didn't matter who was the victor.
Well, it kind of matters. You've got storylines you got to tell. Let's see here. The next match was a fatal 4-way match for the United States Championship, which is the SmackDown brand. And I shit you not, this one was so quick that
and disappointing.
Like we sort of like breezed past this match without meaning to, because we were streaming this on the WWE network, and there was streaming lag like crazy. So by the time
honestly, I'm kind of glad we did, because the way it finished was disappointing to me.
Well, here's what's up. We had the WWE champion, the United States champion, Randy Orton, defending his title against Bobby Roode, against Rusev, and against Jinder Mahal.
Originally, it was going to be a triple threat match, but they inserted Rusev into the fatal 4-way because of how over he got with Rusev Day.
Yep, it's this dorky little angle thing here. He's teamed up with a dude, Aiden English, who helped get Rusev over with this little Rusev Day gimmick, with it's a celebration of this glorious Bulgarian brute, of this glorious man. And you know what? It's gotten people over because people are chanting Rusev Day over and over. It's fun.
They chant Rusev Day everywhere. They even chant Rusev Day on the shittiest matches that they don't like.
Exactly. Like it's become a celebration of a guy who is trying to get himself over. A year back, nobody gave a damn about Rusev, but in the past year, he's gotten himself over with the help of this little modifier to his gimmick, which is fine. Jinder Mahal it's funny that he's competing for the U.S. Championship because he was formerly a WWE champion. So why is he competing for this? Then again, the same argument could be made for Seth Rollins, who was former WWE champion, and now he's the IC champion. So I guess we can't make that complaint.
Yeah.
As for Bobby Roode was the original United States champion until Randy Orton grabbed the title from him. And so all four of these guys just got cobbled together in a mix mash of what the fuck, and no one knows like really who to cheer for or anything because, well, it's a clusterfuck.
It was a clusterfuck. I know who I wouldn't cheer for, fucking Jinder Mahal.
Yeah, no, for real. Jinder Mahal's character, he put himself. Like, obviously, you've got him as the big anti-American foreigner,
modern day Maharaja.
Yeah, the foreigner heel gimmick that people used to get with Iron Sheik, with Vladimir Kozlov, and now we've got what's his face, Jinder Mahal. And after 8 minutes 15 seconds, Jinder wins the match. He's the new U.S. champion. Whoop-de-doo. We didn't get to watch too much of the match itself because it was lagging so badly. But from what we saw from like the recap on it, it was just like, come on, man! Like this, like it. There was no. Like, Jose, you're falling asleep with me describing it.
Like, why would you let Jinder win, guys? Come on, man. I would have been okay. I would have been happy with Rusev as a champion, cause fuck.
For real.
Or Bobby Roode.
Like, it's funny because we hated, like a couple years back, we hated that Rusev was holding the United States Championship because you have the heel because he was doing the heel foreigner.
I was gonna say I kind of like that the way he came in WrestleMania 31 with the tank. That was awesome.
Yeah, he came in a goddamn tank.
Yeah.
In a Russian tank. And John Cena was coming out all patriotic and shit. And John Cena won the title. Whoop-de-doo. But, like, look at that. Like, he evolved out of that with just a little bit of tweaking. And that's what I was saying earlier about the women's championship match for SmackDown. If you don't evolve, if you don't adjust your gimmick to try to get yourself over, you go nowhere.
Exactly.
Right? Like... So I don't know. I don't know what the fuck they're going to do.
I don't want to talk about this shitty match.
All right, no, that's because we got a big time match coming up. This one was a marquee match, ladies and gentlemen. It was a mixed tag team match from Raw, with the general manager of Raw, former Olympic gold medalist, former WWE champion, Kurt fucking Angle.
Woo!
Teaming up with a brand new up-and-comer in professional wrestling. You might have heard of this little lady. Her name is Ronda fucking Rousey.
Yeah.
In her debut match. Hey, don't give me that shit. You loved it.
No, I'm not talking about the match, but I mean, like, the very big criticism that she got from all the women in the WWE.
We'll get to that in a little bit. And they were facing down, I shit you not, Triple H and the commissioner of Monday Night Raw, Stephanie McMahon. Like, I hope you'll excuse me on this. If I never see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon in a match ever again, it'll be too soon. But it seems that these two are hell-bent and determined to keep themselves in the limelight for the next 15 fucking years. Like, as if we haven't seen them enough in the last 18 years are in this same fucking position of that they're the authority figures, that they're the ones who are in charge and no one can take them down. But no, fucking hell. It was like, I'm sorry, I'm just annoyed by them. The whole bit of this was really simple. Ronda Rousey, yes, former UFC bantamweight champion, Olympian judo, Olympian gold medalist herself.
Hey,
and in judo and mixed martial arts there, and she finally comes over to the WWE, and people were complaining, oh no, here we go, she's gonna be a female Brock Lesnar. Oh no, here we go, she's just there to do an easy cash grab, she doesn't care. Oh no, hell no, she cares. She showed up earlier this year at the end of the Women's Royal Rumble,
albeit it was ill-timed.
A little bit, maybe, that's debatable. And she's basically announced that she's signed a contract with the WWE. She's working for them now, and they threw up this storyline of Stephanie McMahon rubbing in her face like, oh, you're my best friend, but now you work for me. I made the women's revolution. I made you into a star. Like,
the women's revolution would have been awesome if they removed Stephanie McMahon.
No, like, that's just it. Stephanie really didn't have anything to do with this shit. Yeah, she might have been helping push for more women's matches in the forefront, but, like, to push herself into that shit is unnecessary. It is needless. It is bullshit. And like I mentioned earlier, if I never have to see Stephanie McMahon in a ring ever again, it'll be too soon. Like, as for Triple H goes, like, yeah, he's already cemented himself as a great wrestler and all this other crap. Like, so if that's again, if he doesn't wrestle again, he doesn't need to. He really doesn't. I don't know why he keeps doing it. Maybe because he likes the payday. I don't fucking know.
He doesn't wrestle as often, and that's good.
I prefer it if he finally hung it up. Like, no offense, but come on, man. Like, enough is enough. The moment he put the suit on, he needs to, like, they can't keep juggling him as, oh, he's a corporate figure and he's a wrestler at the same time. Like, pick one. It's like Thor Ragnarok. I hate this room. It's white and red. Just pick one color. Just pick one.
True.
God almighty.
But now Kurt Angle, on the other hand, it was fucking awesome seeing him at WrestleMania.
Like, yeah, but that's mainly because with Kurt Angle, we know that he can still compete. And we know that he's in much better physical shape than Triple H can hope to be.
And he's older than Triple H.
Which is hysterical. Now, at the end of this, it all boiled down to Stephanie and Triple H trying to bully Ronda Rousey, like, oh, hey, we got you in, now you work for us, now you're under our thumb, neener. And Ronda is basically, in her own words, like, I'm my own woman. I'm going to, I can pick my opponent, and I'm picking you, Stephanie, to teach you a lesson. You don't disrespect me and shit. And Triple H involved himself. Kurt Angle said, you know what, you need a partner, so I'm going to be your partner. And this match is one of my top three. If it's one of my personal top three of this show.
No, I agree. It was good. They built it up really good.
It was incredible. It was a lot better than it had any right to be.
Stephanie McMahon did exactly what you would expect for a villain McMahon would do in the ring.
And that's quite simply fucking,
in her case, being a total bitch
and a wimp at that. Like, people know for a fact Stephanie's not a physical competitor. Yeah, she keeps in shape, but she's not an actual fucking competitor.
Mm-hmm.
Not to save her life. Are you fucking kidding me? You think you could go toe to toe with a woman who can snap your fucking arm? Hell fucking no. If the match goes on between all four of them for 20 minutes and 40 seconds, and we even have some intergender action with Ronda trying to pick up on Triple H. She's like, no, you don't want none of this. And the referee's like saying, no, we can't have that. This is a mixed match. Women have to go against women. Men have to go against men. And she's like, no, come on, let's do it. Let's bring it. And Triple H's like, you know what? I'm gonna allow her. Let's see if she wants what she wants. Okay, girl. Let's see you come back. Oh my god! Ow, 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 ow. She wails on him like a fucking beast.
Did she also carry him over her shoulders?
Yeah, she threw him into that judo toss, that Samoa drop looking judo toss, and it was hysterical. It was fun. You had a couple of close calls with the match with both Triple H and Stephanie trying to do the pedigree on the opponents. Then their opponents each turning around into a submission hold, and you think they're both going to
Kurt Angle, the original man who wrote the book on Suplex City.
Yeah, and all Brock did was try to shit on it. Anyway, we'll get more on Brock later because fuck him.
But no, Kurt Angle, he showed that at his age, he could still go at a high note, hitting these German suplexes and everything.
Like, that's true. And I'm not going to lie, Triple H, for as much as I don't want to see him wrestle anymore, it's really more for his own well-being that I'm actually, and half of it's like I'm sort of tired of seeing him insert himself in these WrestleMania events. We had nothing to do with it. But, he still can go with the best of them. So I guess that's fine, too. So anyway, at the end of that, it ends with Stephanie and Ronda in the middle of the ring, and Stephanie McMahon's trying to be competitive when Ronda locks in an armbar, and she's trying to counter the armbar by locking her hands together to try to keep Ronda from.
But the moment she broke free, she broke that and locked it in completely. Stephanie tapped out immediately.
Like a bitch.
Yep.
And that's pretty much what we were expecting on this, but you know what? It was done in a much better way than it had any right to be.
My only regret is that it didn't end with Kurt Angle celebrating with Milkomania.
No, we don't need Milkomania in this one. All right, you psychotic bastard. Anyway, but the point with that was, like I said, Ronda was a fucking natural in this match. But you can also tell that the match was practiced really, really hard in the last couple of months leading up to WrestleMania. So most of pro wrestling is improvised on the fly in the middle of the ring.
Of course.
So we showed Ronda can go a long-term match with long-term like preparation in and out of the way. Let's see if she has the ability to pro wrestle and improv on the spot like most of the other ladies have to do.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she still has a lot of ways to go, but
like this has cemented her as being a top star. She can hang with the best of them, and that's what you want to do with someone with as much name value as Ronda Rousey. You want to show them like this is the boss, like this is the badass, and it's good that they did it this way. And I want to see her get the practice that she needs and get the experience and training she needs to be able to compete week in, week out, the same as the ladies, the same as Charlotte, the same as Asuka, the same as Naomi, the same as the 4 horsewomen. Like, wait, Charlotte's one of them. Never mind. The other 3 horsewomen. The other 3 horsewomen. That's Becky Lynch, Bayley, and Sasha.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but go on.
Okay, so
the next match?
The next match was a quick little broody of a match. Another multi-man match. This one was for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. The Bludgeon Brothers, which is Luke Harper and Eric Rowan, versus Jimmy and Jay Uso, and the New Day, which was the team of Kofi Kingston, Big E, and Xavier Woods. But Xavier Woods wasn't defending, so he was out in the rope. And this one was a quick match too.
Now I'll
they
say
just
this
together.
Now I'll say this to the Bludgeon Brothers' credit: they built that team up really good.
Yeah, that's true. But this match was like,
I know they built it up, but the WrestleMania match sucked. It was too short and
it wasn't even 6 minutes long. It was a 5 minutes 50-second match.
Yeah,
bell to bell.
It could have gone on a little bit longer, but whatever.
At the end of it, the Bludgeon Brothers win the match.
Yes,
that's it. 1, 2, 3. Like, yeah, it's it was nuts. What can we say?
Next.
Okay. The next match was one that we weren't even sure we were going to get. It was a match between John Cena and The Undertaker. Joe, give us a quick rundown on what they were building towards and how we even got this match.
For weeks after weeks, John Cena has been trying to call out The Undertaker for a match at WrestleMania, which is a match they could have had last year, but they replaced Cena with Roman. But anyways, but Undertaker was a no-show. So
Undertaker would not respond.
Yeah, Undertaker would not respond. Hell, Cena had a match with Kane where he was mimicking The Undertaker for every move, doing choke slams and rising up like the dead man and doing that stupid eye shit.
Like rolling back the eyes and trying to look like
and everything. He was basically trying to goad The Undertaker. He was basically trying to taunt him to get him to make an appearance and do something, but nothing happened. So for the first part of the half of the night, I guess, Cena was basically just part of the crowd, having a good time, and just being him. And then after the SmackDown Women's Championship match was done and over with, one of the referees came from the stage, whispered to John Cena, "Hey, dude, listen, I don't know."
Then John Cena runs out of his seat and runs back up the ramp and just blows past Asuka, blows past Charlotte Flair, and he gets his ring gear on. And then we see John Cena roll on out. Hey, I'm gonna have my match with The Undertaker. It's finally happening.
Not before Elias was in the ring cutting a promo.
Okay, for those of you who don't know who Elias is, he's got this gimmick of basically being like this folk singer looking like wandering man,
a drifter.
Yeah, the drifter or whatever, but he's like he plays the guitar. Like he actually does play the guitar. One of the few people could say they can do that while wrestling at the same time. And like the lights went out and John Cena thought, "Oh, The Undertaker's coming. He's coming." But it was really Elias, so he beats the crap out of Elias. And then he starts to leave as he was like, "Come on."
Yep. And then The Undertaker came to the ring.
Yep.
And honestly, before WrestleMania, I honestly thought that he was going to bring back the American Badass.
Okay, for a little bit of recap on that, the reason why we thought that was because this year in the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony, they inducted Kid Rock. I don't know why, because he's an idiot. But I guess it's because he's a fan of pro wrestling and because he provided the American Badass theme song from when The Undertaker had cycled his dead man gothic angle and looked more like a badass biker
Which worked.
Which worked for a little while, but, I guess Vince McMahon was tired of that, and so was The Undertaker for a little while.
And Kid Rock also performed for WrestleMania in 2009.
Yeah, but no one remembers that. Anyway, the point is, everyone was expecting, because normally when it comes to a match against The Undertaker, you build that for months. You have The Undertaker make appearances on TV.
Juancho, another reason why I thought that he was going to be the American Badass was because I thought, that was it for The Undertaker. Like, he left his gear in the ring, and then that's it. No more dead man.
Okay, just to give a little reference, last year, The Undertaker had...
retired.
After a match against Roman Reigns, who defeated him. And at the end of it, The Undertaker took his gloves, his big duster jacket, and his hat, his sombrero hat, whatever. Takes it off, folds it, leaves it in the center of the ring. He gives his wife Michelle McCool a kiss at the center at the outside of the ring, and then he leaves. So everyone's thinking this is kind of sad. This is kind of messed up. But here he comes back, piss and vinegar, full of fire and brimstone, and after a 2-minute 45-second match, The Undertaker pins John Cena clean.
That wasn't a match, though. That was a slaughter.
It was quick, dirty.
It was a quick, I'm going to kick your ass. That wasn't a match. Fucking Cena. Cena didn't see that coming.
No, he did not. We were making jokes because when we saw that match, we saw John Cena, he was about to come off the ropes to do his move, the final 5-knuckle shuffle, where he, bounces off and, punches a guy in the middle of the ring while the guy's laying face up. And when he bounces off the ropes, fucking Undertaker does his zombie sit-up, and John Cena falls on his own ass.
Oh, shit!
Undertaker grabs him, choke slams him, hits him with a tombstone pile driver. Pin 1, 2, 3. The Undertaker is done.
And that'll teach you next time, Cena, not to talk shit
about the Undertaker. Yep. All right, moving along, we have another tag team match involving the heads of the other promotion, which is SmackDown. This one, I would say, is my third of my top 3. This one has the SmackDown commissioner, Shane McMahon.
Woo!
And the
only good McMahon, but go on.
And the general manager, the now finally returned to active duty, to active roster, the yes man himself, Daniel Bryan. Teaming against Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. Just to give you a little bit of background, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, they've grown over the years as independent stars. Kevin Steen and El Generico, it was Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, respectively, and these guys have had a brutal runway, path of destruction against other people in SmackDown, and they started picking fights with Shane McMahon and started trying to pick fights with Daniel Bryan as well. But unfortunately, Daniel Bryan, for the last 3 years now, he could not be medically cleared. He had to retire from pro wrestling because he's had too many concussions. He's had too much neck trouble and shit like that. If he ever got into the ring without proper care, it could have ended him. But he's been going through rehab over the last few years. He's been pushing like crazy, saying he can still actively wrestle and showing that he's medically cleared. He's been cleared by every doctor under the sun, but the WWE wouldn't allow him to compete until finally, what was it, 2 weeks before WrestleMania?
Yes.
Daniel Bryan, they announced to the world that he's been cleared by the medical team of the WWE, that he is now 100% fit to compete. And they announced that before SmackDown came live that Tuesday. So everyone came in hyped and crazed, and Daniel Bryan was basically saying, I don't know what I'm going to do next. I know that I'm going to come back. People were chanting and pointing to the WrestleMania sign, compete at WrestleMania. We want to see you fight. And he said, you know what? That might happen. I don't know. But then you have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn show up.
They inserted him into the feud between Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, and Shane McMahon,
which
has been building for over a year.
Yeah, it's basically Shane McMahon and Owens and Zayn had been having trouble because these guys are trying to break the rules, and Shane's like, hey, I'm the commissioner, I'm trying to enforce a rule, you guys need to stay in line, you need to not be assholes.
Yeah,
but their response, screw you, we're going to be assholes.
Yeah, Sami Zayn didn't become involved with the feud until last year in Hell in a Cell, when he helped Kevin Owens beat Shane McMahon in the Hell in a Cell main event.
Yeah, exactly, and that was messed up. So you have these guys basically trying to run roughshod over Shane McMahon. They brutalized the hell out of him. They had this one spot where they threw him onto like a set of ladders and shit. They beat the hell out of this old fart, Shane McMahon. Who's,
Well, he's not that old.
Well, as in like they beat the crap out of him.
And then it turned out that, in real life, he was actually like injured. That made the rounds.
Yeah, so like after that little stunt, they actually didn't need to take him to the hospital. Apparently he had an umbilical hernia. They had to do quick surgery on that. He had a little bout of diverticulitis, which was unrelated, but they needed to treat that as well. And so it didn't look as if Shane McMahon was going to be able to do anything about these two a-holes. So Daniel Bryan, now being able to compete, people were asking him to go up against them, but he said, no, you know what? I'm going to use my authority as general manager. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, you guys are fired. So these guys got, pissed off. They tried to beat the hell out of Daniel Bryan. Daniel fought back. People were going crazy over it. Like, he fought back. He gave all his signature hits, knee shot, knee strikes, kicks, fucking suplexes like nobody's business.
Mm-hmm.
How many fucking kicks did he throw to Sami Zayn? How many of them?
Lots
of them. And yes, chants were going all over the fucking stadium. So it boiled down to, okay, they've got Shane McMahon cleared, and so they made a deal. You compete with us at WrestleMania against me and Shane. Daniel Bryan saying this.
Uh-huh.
If you win, then we will
get their jobs back.
Yeah, they get their jobs back. If you lose, you stay fired from SmackDown.
Yeah. Then WrestleMania happened. I mean, Daniel Bryan made his entrance after Shane did, and then Owens and Zayn blindsided him
right at the beginning of the match. Before the match even starts, they blindside Daniel Bryan and they hit him with a powerbomb onto the outside apron of the ring. So people are thinking like, oh my God, these assholes, they screwed it all up. Daniel Bryan was supposed to make his triumphant return, and now they're about to put him into retirement again. So they got a stretcher, and they tried to
made no sense. Yeah, that angle made no sense to me.
Actually, that made perfect sense. You know why? Because these guys were being all hot-headed and emotional and stuff. Because what was Kevin Owens shouting the whole time? He made us do it. He made us do it. This isn't my fault. Like making it like real asshole kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And so they picked on Shane McMahon and they colored him up for a good 10 fucking minutes. 10 minutes out of a 15-minute match. And like on the one hand, Shane McMahon was trying to stay physical, trying to fight and everything, and you saw him hit his big coast to coast leg drop from drop kick from one corner of the ring to the parallel corner and hitting the guy and drop kicking him, and that looked cool. But there's no way that he's going to be able to continue the fight on his own until suddenly Daniel Bryan shows up and he's back in action and he's coming off the stretcher. No, I'm going to fight. And the place goes nuts.
Yes.
Keep talking, Joe.
It was no. It was a fantastic match altogether. I mean, there's really nothing else for me to say. I mean, a personal opinion, I could have done without the whole blindsiding Daniel Bryan for the beginning, but that's just me being me.
Well, they're you got to remember, as in pro wrestling, they're telling a story with their bodies. They're telling a story within the ring, so you got to remember the story.
Fair enough.
Okay, so at the end of it, Daniel Bryan locks in his submission hold, the yes lock.
It made Sami Zayn tap out. He made El Generico tap out, Juan.
Yes.
Yes.
He did.
C. Go on.
And Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens remain fired from SmackDown. Yay, forever.
Bum, 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 bum. Wow. Obviously, they'll set them up when they get drafted to Raw.
Maybe. Actually, no, because last week, the following Monday on Raw, they showed up. No, we're going to tell them real quick, because we're not going to cover Raw. We're just covering WrestleMania. Anyone who wants to see what happened on Raw or SmackDown, you can go on YouTube. Well, at the end of it, they went up to Raw the following week. They went up to General Manager Kurt Angle. They're like, hey, you know what? We want to come in here and work for you. Try to give their best shit-eating grins. Kurt Angle basically told him, like, I know your history. I saw what you guys do to your general managers, so I'm not going to be offering you a contract on Raw anytime soon. But hey, if you're looking to be in the tag team, I hear that TNA is still hiring.
Oh, suck it, Anthem.
Oh, how sweet it is.
Suck it, whoever's running Impact Wrestling.
No, actually, that's just it. You want to know the funny thing? last week on Wrestle Talk Insider, they actually addressed that with one of the operators of Impact Wrestling.
Yeah, go on.
And they realized, you know what? The fact that they're making a reference of TNA and not specifically Impact Wrestling shows how much they were able to take the brand of Impact Wrestling and have it move away from that retired little stupid angle of TNA wrestling that it inherited from 2002 or 2001 all the way through till like last year.
Right.
Anyone who wants to know the story of TNA wrestling,
No,
we
we
can
don't
get
have
into that
to,
another time. Now is not the time.
But yeah,
for
the
that.
match was good. The match was great. Let's move on.
Yes, please. All right. Well, I don't know how much you're gonna regret you saying let's move on, because the next match is one that you didn't like at all.
Oh.
The next match was the Raw Women's Championship match between defending Women's Champion Alexa Bliss versus Nia Jax. You.
I mean, I didn't hate it as much as I hate The Miz.
Okay, just to give you an idea, folks.
It was starting.
Right.
It was stemming off from a mediocre best friend user mentally abuser rivalry.
Well, that's not mediocre. It's kind of fucked up, but you know what? It's one of those moments of, just like they could have done more athletically, storyline wise, but with Raw, I guess you get more of the entertainment, the drama stuff going on, where SmackDown has more of the competition and the sportsmanship shit going on.
Yeah.
So I guess there is sort of a distinction between the red show and the blue show. Long story short, Alexa Bliss, she is the women's champion coming into this match. She is a miniature little blonde fireball of asshole. I guess that's the best. Like, I mean that in the nicest way, because she's.
At least you didn't call her a vanilla midget.
No, I'm not Kevin Nash.
Go on.
And fucking what do you call it? Like, she's got some good moves and all. But her main thing is that with her, she knows how to make the crowd hate her ass. Just like by being conceited, by being a little prima donna Barbie doll looking bullshit, attitude. And that's, as much as you don't like that, Jose, that just shows you she's doing her job right.
Fair enough. I'll give her that.
Nia Jax, she is much taller, much larger woman than Alexa Bliss. But then again, it's not hard to be taller than a 5 foot tall lady, so I guess that's something. But anyway,
She's Titanic.
What are you giving me that look for?
No, nothing. No, go on.
Okay, yeah, I know we got short friends, but I'm not gonna lie. Alexa Bliss is mini.
She's mini.
She is mini.
But like Nia you said, she did a good job. I mean, she did come from NXT after all.
Yeah, she did, and so did Nia Jax. Nia Jax is a much larger lady. She's like what, 5'11", 5'10", something like that.
5'10", something like that.
She's heavy set,
she
but
knows how to throw down.
Yeah, she's also a little bit heavy set, but you know what? She's like a throwdown. She's a bulldozer. She's physical. She knows how to beat people up, and she fights with she fights as well as the best of them can. And the whole thing going into this match was that they were friends and they really cared about each other, but Alexa Bliss is only really using her because she's muscle and she's a dummy, and
because plot twist, Alexa Bliss is a bitch.
Who could have possibly predicted this?
Anyways,
so this whole bit is basically Nia Jax getting her comeuppance on Alexa Bliss after finding out.
I like how it started. Like, even before the match started, she just beat the shit out of Mickie James just so that.
Okay, yeah, Mickie James, who
poor
is
Mickie.
by the way, personal favorite of ours. Not gonna lie. Joe and I grew up with and watching Mickie James in the ring, and she's.
Yeah, I know. Too bad she got her ass kicked by Nia Jax.
What's up?
Too bad she got her ass kicked by Nia Jax.
Yeah, too bad. Like right at the beginning of the match to make sure that Mickie James doesn't interfere. How did she whip her around? She grabbed her by the head and she whipped her side to side, almost cartoonishly against the barricade.
It was like watching the Hulk whip around Loki.
Oh God! And they had to cart Mickie James out, and you see what's her face, Alexa Bliss, panicking like, "Oh crap, my backup is gone. Oh crap!"
And the moment the bell rung, Alexa was running for her life.
She was running for her fucking life because she realized, "Oh shit, I done goofed. I fucked up." And there's like, you gotta admit the one moment when she's tries to smack Nia in the face. Nia turns around, looks her square in the eyes, screams like a fucking beast. Alexa screaming for her life right afterwards, trying to run. You gotta admit that was funny.
That was funny.
Like and then getting her ass whipped.
They had a few good spots where Alexa took advantage, and she had her thing, but Nia Jax ultimately dominated the match, just the way Undertaker dominated Cena.
Yep,
which will teach you next time never to abuse your friends, Alexa.
Exactly, or try to use people, call them your friends, and then get your ass caught showing that you're just a manipulative asshole. This match clocked in at 10 minutes 15 seconds, and motherfuck, it ended with Nia Jax hitting Alexa Bliss with a Samoan drop. Well, that's like a fireman carry, and then you drop the person on their side, by throwing yourself back. She did that off the second rope of the turnbuckle of the ring. So she, wow, that's classy. And fucking, what do you call it? She threw her down, got the pin. 1, 2, 3. We have a brand new women's champion, Nia fucking Jax, who definitely earned it. Who definitely deserved it. Has she been women's champion at that point? Nope. Her first title reign. Yay.
But yeah.
Yay.
And then afterwards, what do we have?
We're down to our final 3 matches here, and this is ridiculous that there were 3 remaining instead of 2 because one of these matches really didn't need to happen the way it did. Actually, 2 of them didn't, but whatever. I'll get to that in a minute.
Let's get to this one. The WWE Championship.
Yep. I'm still calling it the WWE World Heavyweight Championship because these idiots are fucking idiots. Why would they not acknowledge the fact that it's a World Heavyweight title? Idiots. Anyway,
yeah, I know. No, it is a World Heavyweight title.
Like, this is a dream match for indie fans, and this is a dream match for hardcore professional wrestling fans. The WWE Champion, the phenomenal AJ Styles, versus Shinsuke Nakamura. After winning the 2018 Men's Royal Rumble, he earned the chance to challenge for the WWE Championship. So he immediately announced he was challenging AJ Styles. And the story leading up to this was pretty straightforward. It looked like it was just straight up competition. It looked like it was just straight up going to be, like, hey, you know what? You say that you're better than me, let's prove it. You say I'm better than you, let's prove it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It seemed like it was going to be, well set up and well.
How long was that match?
That match lasted 20 minutes 20 seconds.
2020. Oh damn.
I'm Baba Waters, and this is 2020.
Well, we certainly got a clear 2020 hindsight of what happened at the end of the match. But it was a good back and forth match.
But like, the one thing that throws people off is that while this was an excellent back and forth match between Nakamura and AJ Styles, by the way, one little thing that I want to get into, the entrance of Shinsuke Nakamura. Like, he got the rock star entry he deserved.
The lady guitarist who played for Alice Cooper. Yes.
Nita Strauss, who's as old as I am, apparently.
Yeah.
She was shredding on the guitar, getting the opening for Shinsuke Nakamura, and then the lights come off. You have an army of violinists up the ramp, throwing the violin bit for the beginning of Nakamura's theme.
Bruh.
Oh my God, Angel is missing out.
I know, it was awesome.
You know what? He'll hear this podcast when we get to it.
2020, the match was great. A lot of good spots. AJ Styles picked up the win after a surprise Styles clash.
Yep. So at this point, the match is over, and it looks like, holy crap, we can't believe it. AJ Styles defends and retains the WWE Championship, which was good because I don't think he ever came in as WWE Champion at WrestleMania before. Came out with it, did he?
Who, Styles?
Yeah.
No.
So this is his first time coming into WrestleMania as champ and coming out as champ. So this is pretty badass.
And then, I half agree with you. I half disagree with you. It just seemed like the first match with the SmackDown Women's title with the Women's Royal Rumble winner, that one I can forgive, but they could have let Nakamura win the WWE Championship. That would have been so fucking phenomenal, no pun intended, to have a Japanese WWE champion.
Well, we might get there, we might not, but in the meantime, we have this beautiful little moment where Nakamura asked for the title over at the Bell Keeper's table. They pass him the title, and he presents the championship on bended knee. Like people were joking, like, "Oh, he's proposing to AJ Styles with the WWE championship." Yeah, sir, very silly. But like he presents it to him, like, "Oh, hey, this is an excellent match. Congratulations." It looks like we were gonna have another feel good moment, the way we did with Charlotte and Asuka, until Nakamura gives AJ Styles' testicles a Tiger Woods uppercut. Oh, that was dirty as hell. Then he hits him with his knee strike called the Kinshasa. And
he basically just kicked him out of the ring. Like, fuck you.
Like, screw you, man. Like, now we've got him, like, Shinsuke Nakamura turning heel, apparently. He's turning bad guy now.
Nice. And he did it in a spectacular fashion.
Yeah, like, so if you're going to have this big, bad, beautiful, like, half Michael Jackson looking rock star, like, the motherfucker that's Shinsuke Nakamura, if you're going to turn him into a bad guy and have him heal it up, this would be the best place to do it, unfortunately.
Yeah, of course.
Like, so people complaining, like, they ruined Nakamura. I can't believe they had to do this. You remember my champion? No, I'm not going to deal with that crap.
All right. Well, apart from me believing that Nakamura should have won that match, another complaint that I had was that why was this match third to last in the WrestleMania card? That should have been at least next to last
at
as
the very
a second
least.
main event.
And then we have this next match that we're going to talk about here that was the second to last match of the night. It didn't need to be. It was fine. Like, here's the stupid thing. It's fine for what they were trying to do, but they didn't need to do it at the end of the fucking night like this, because this could have been right in the middle of the show. Fucking hell, man.
Yeah.
This next match was for the Raw Tag Team Championship. The tag team of Sheamus and Cesaro, collectively known as The Bar,
which is a fucking awesome tag team, honestly.
Like of course, why would they call themselves The Bar? Because they don't set the bar; they are the bar. Versus the monster among men, Braun Strowman, and a yet unnamed tag team partner. He won a battle royal over the top challenge for the tag team championships all on his own a couple weeks ago on Monday Night Raw, and he was told, "No, dude, you can't just go into WrestleMania and compete for the titles by yourself. You need a partner." Okay, well, let's see if we can find him a partner. And people have been speculating and throwing names out there like nobody's business.
I personally threw the name that, like, Mick Foley would have been a good tag partner for Braun Strowman.
That would have been nice and fun, but Mick Foley wasn't in the building. He was only in a video promo.
I know.
Let's see. There were a couple of superstars from New Japan Pro Wrestling who were in attendance, so people thought, oh my god, Braun Strowman's going to pick one of these guys.
Kurt Hawkins.
No, just no. People were also speculating, oh, hey, they just inducted Bill Goldberg, into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, so maybe they're going to have him call out Goldberg to be his partner.
Nope.
No, that didn't happen. We even had a little silly speculation on our end. Actually, not even ourselves. This is the Wrestle Talk guys again, bringing up James Ellsworth.
Oh my god, that would have been spectacular.
Okay, just to give you an idea, James Ellsworth was a glorified jobber who wound up becoming a main guy on SmackDown for a little while. He clean defeated AJ Styles in a match while AJ Styles was WWE champion. He also helped Carmella in the very first Women Money in the Bank match, and helped her win her with that challenge as well. And he's basically like this indie darling now, who's not afraid to throw down with anybody, despite how flabby he may look or like underwhelming he may appear in the ring. But he fights. He knows how to throw down like anyone else. People were expecting that, and that didn't happen. What did we get instead? Jose? Who was Braun Strowman's tag team partner?
A little kid from the audience named Nicholas.
It was a little boy named Nicholas. Like, I honestly couldn't tell it was a boy until he said his name. Until he said this kid's name, because he's got this long little bit of hair, and brought him over to the apron and said, "You know what? You stay right there. I'll do all the work. You just watch, and I will take the championship for these guys." The match lasts 4 fucking minutes.
It was ridiculous.
It was a gimmick.
I understand it was a nice gimmick. You know, you got to do it for the kids. but it killed Braun Strowman's character.
Kind of. Like, maybe a little, yeah, but maybe
a
not.
little. They pushed him as a main event guy for the Universal Championship.
By being a badass freak of nature monster guy, and now they've got him doing silly spots with children and
Like
goofiness and stuff.
No.
But like on the one hand that's fine, but on the other hand, he'll do that.
Do it too much. Too much.
Was this too much?
Yes. Yes. After, weeks of like doing these crazy gimmicks with Braun Strowman and smashing instruments over fucking Elias, which I'll admit that was funny.
Like, okay, that wasn't out of character though. That was like him mocking Elias's gimmick of being a musician. He comes out with a gigantic ass like bass or a cello or something.
My point is that now nobody's gonna take Braun Strowman seriously.
Well, Braun Strowman's a tag team champions now.
No, not anymore.
Because the following
at
night,
the Raw after Mania, Kurt Angle ordered them to relinquish.
Actually, no, they offered to relinquish the championship.
Yeah, they had to relinquish the titles.
Like, no, the stupid little bit was he got the boy over. He said, "Hey, listen, my tag partner has some scheduling conflicts. He's in the 4th grade. Probably didn't think this through, so we're just gonna go ahead and give up these championships. But you know what? You're only 10 years old. In about 8 years, you can come back and we'll pick up where we left off. Deal?
Oh God, please!
Yay! Like,
oh God, kid, please don't.
Like, it turns out that Nicholas is actually, it was a plant. It was a job. Like, it was a giant scam.
Yeah.
Like, he's the son of one of the referees in the WWE. So he was a plant. He was picked out. So, like, we were going to get this silliness just for good fun. And I have no problem with having a little bit of comedy in the WWE, having a little bit of comedy in
But that should have been one of the first matches.
No, that should have been one of like the last of the first matches. Like leading into these tag matches with Rousey and Angle and Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon, leading into those matches, like, because this wasn't necessary to be right before the main event. Because the main event, you might have heard us mention this earlier. The Universal Champion Brock Lesnar defends against the challenger Roman Reigns. But wait a minute, didn't they have that match back in 2015 that we talked about earlier?
Yeah, I believe I believe I ranted about it on my live videos, and I basically timelined everything leading up to WrestleMania 34. They tried that idea, like with Roman Reigns winning the Royal Rumble at 2015, but of course everyone booed him out of the goddamn building louder than they did with Batista in 2014. Having The Rock over there raise his arm didn't help anything. And then come main event time at WrestleMania 31, Brock versus Roman, everyone was booing. Nobody liked the match. Like, nobody cheered for Roman, nobody cheered for Brock. So fuck it. Seth Rollins went in and stole the show.
Literally, in order to try to keep people from, rioting. This time around, we didn't have Seth Rollins. This time around, that we didn't have a guy with a Money in the Bank briefcase who people can cheer for. This time around, we were dealt with this preconceived idea that we all have that Roman Reigns was going to win.
Yeah, and this was a preconceived idea that was started at last year's WrestleMania.
Exactly.
After Roman Reigns retired Undertaker and after Brock Lesnar beat Goldberg, it was already predetermined that they were going to push Roman Reigns to become the Universal Champion at WrestleMania.
And nobody in their right mind with a left nut could have possibly foreseen how much backlash they were going to get this time around from the fans. It was terrifying. It was like, okay, this was a catch-22 situation. We've discussed this. Basically, you can't have Roman Reigns win the Universal Championship from Brock Lesnar because at this point, no one wants that. They believe that the obviousness of Vince McMahon wanting to push Roman Reigns as the inheritor of John Cena's mantle, the new big top star, the new big face of the WWE, the new big good guy, and you're all going to love and cheer for him because I say so. People caught that from the word go last year, and nobody wanted it.
Nobody wanted it, but to reference what Luke Owen said on Wrestle Talk, like he spoke about the main event that was coming up, the main event that happened, and it's basically him saying, like, and you can disagree with me if you want, the ideology, Vince McMahon wanting his little like thing to go, and we should just let it happen. Let Vince McMahon have his slice. Let Vince McMahon have his little main event thing happen, and then afterwards, after Roman wins, that can open the doors for new possibilities and newcomers to take on the Universal title.
Exactly, because the problem with the Universal Championship has been, for the longest time, Brock Lesnar won the championship from Bill Goldberg last year at WrestleMania and has since not made a single fucking appearance on Monday Night Raw except when he wants to beat someone up, has only ever defended the championship in main event matches and giant marquee matches against guys, and they've made Brock Lesnar look like this unstoppable, unbeatable juggernaut of a machine that no one can stop, because once he gets a single F5 on people and once he hits a bunch of German suplexes, that's it. Unless, of course, it's the anointed one, Roman Reigns. But they've been trying to bake this in. It was so fucking painfully obvious over the last year.
It was painfully obvious, but personally, I would have been okay if they just went with their predetermined plan and let Roman win so we can get it out of the way.
You know why?
To get to so that Brock can be free from the WWE, from his contract, and go on to UFC, so that they can finally move forward and include new challenges for Roman as Universal Champion. Bring in the Raw contenders to finally take him on.
Exactly. Like, bring the championship back to Monday Night Raw where it belongs, so that people can compete for it and people can challenge the champion and actually have the champion be someone visible there. But the problem is, not with Roman Reigns, not with him, because no one likes this guy.
It's not Roman Reigns' fault.
It really isn't. Like, he's not a horrible wrestler. He does what he does. He's predictable in his wrestling, but he does what he does.
I mean, but it's not predictable because he's predictable. It's predictable because the WWE scriptwriters have made him predictable,
regrettably. And that just leads us to this big main event. It lasted 15 minutes, 55 seconds. It was a fucking slaughterhouse. What was up happening is that everyone's thinking, okay, Braun Strowman's gonna hit him with a spear, hit him with a Superman punch, yeah, win. No, Brock Lesnar whips the ever-living shit out of Reigns.
It was a massacre.
It was a fucking slaughter. Like, he beats him like within an inch of his life and shit. And you've got Paul Heyman, who I personally idolize, cackling in the background. Yes! Destroy him! Yes! Doing his shit. But, like, Roman Reigns could barely get any fucking offense. And when he does, it's predictable, either a spear or a punch or, clothesline. But, like, it's not enough to bring him down. Now, you have, like, moments where you have Brock Lesnar becoming brutal, becoming way more physical than what we're used to seeing in professional wrestling. And that gets people beaten up. That gets people looking like they're getting bloodied up and battered and shit. We have Brock Lesnar hit this guy with his finisher, the F5.
6 times.
6 fucking times. I was about to mention that.
Sorry, go on.
Like, he has him hit him the first time, Roman kicks out. He hits him over and over, kicks him out every single time. Like, it's... that didn't make sense. Like, yeah, like you've got this offense, but like, it would have made more sense if you had Roman give a little bit more even offense, or at least if you want to draw actual like heat against Brock Lesnar, you need to have him, call out to the crowd like, I don't give a damn about you guys, go ahead and boo me, or some of that shit. Actually have him trash talk the crowd or something like that.
Yeah, for fuck's sake, they let him get away with saying motherfucker even though they bleeped it on TV screen. Why not have like Brock Lesnar flip them off just like he did at WrestleMania 20?
Yeah, but that's because at that point people knew that he was leaving. At this point people weren't caring about the match. That's the worst part. The audience was so pissed off about this match being the main event, and they were so pissed off about Roman Reigns being the guy.
They started chanting other things, that they were playing the beach ball.
They were playing with beach balls. They were chanting boring. They were chanting this is awful. My favorite personal chant that they were doing was for CM Punk.
Yes.
Lord knows
they
he's
were
never
also
going to...
chanting Rusev Day.
Yeah, they were chanting Rusev Day. They were also chanting, we want Nicholas, the freaking kid, which was so stupid.
It was stupid, but they chanted it anyways. Now, what I covered... Yeah, no. Now, what I covered in the rant video that I did... based on multiple sources that I've collected online, is that apparently in the middle of the match, Vince McMahon made the last-minute call to have Brock Lesnar win because of the crowd's reaction to the main event, and that pissed off Vince.
So the original plan was going to be for Roman Reigns to win, but feeling out the crowd, Vince McMahon said, fuck it, fuck these people. Like Brock Lesnar, just go ahead and fucking pin him, and Roman stay down till 3. And even though the match got to a point where Brock Lesnar took his gloves off, his fucking stupid UFC gloves, started elbowing and cutting Roman Reigns across the forehead and actually getting him to gush like a mofo. Like he was actually bleeding. You almost never see that in pro wrestling these days, not in WWE at least.
Yeah.
But now, like even after all that, you would think that this was the moment where Roman Reigns is going to do an offense and fight back, and it was supposed to look sympathetic. It was supposed to look like, yeah, he's going to Hulk up and he's going to beat the big bad monster. No, people were still shitting. So that was like, you know what, fuck it. Brock, just finish him and get out of there.
And that still pissed off Vince McMahon even afterwards, because after the match was done, Vince and Brock had a fucking spat. Vince was pissed at Brock Lesnar for the match, not just because of the crowd reaction, but for bleeding Roman Reigns too much in the ring. Which
really wasn't actually, you want to know something funny? That's not really at the control of Brock Lesnar, because, and this is a little bit of Wrestling Insider 101, and I brought this up to you, Jose. If you look at Roman Reigns after he got cut in his hairline, right in his upper forehead, you see Roman Reigns is puffing out his cheeks and trying to exhale out real hard, and you see that he was gushing out even more, right?
Yeah.
That's an actual physical technique that some of the old school wrestlers used to do when they were when they got their foreheads cut and they were bleeding out in matches. They did that on purpose to make themselves look bloodier. You get that mixed up with the sweat that's already on their foreheads from moving, and you get a nice big bloody gush.
Fair enough.
So that was a little bit, maybe Roman Reigns did that a little too much.
Maybe. And also there was an unplanned spot where Brock Lesnar apparently had spot.
No, it's a splot.
Where Brock Lesnar apparently did some move. It wasn't a belly to belly. It wasn't a German suplex, but he did a move to Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns hit face first onto the announce table.
And he went splot.
This was not planned out. This was something that Brock Lesnar acted on his own.
Yep. Now, whether or not
that argument nearly transcended into a physical altercation, because apparently Brock Lesnar took the Universal title and threw it at the wall, nearly hitting Vince in the face. And Shane McMahon was right there next to him, and he was ready to throw down with Brock. He threw the title right at them. He left, and Paul Heyman left with him.
So, like, this just goes to show you, you know, like, maybe half the stuff going on with Brock Lesnar's real. Maybe it's not. Maybe this whole thing was a giant work. We don't know. You know, like, if it's not a job, then, like, if it's not a storyline of Brock Lesnar going apeshit, then this just shows Brock Lesnar is totally disrespectful and is a giant asshole, and he has no respect for the business that's paying him and making him his fucking money. If this is a giant storyline, then all the more credit to these guys, because if this is a storyline, it's actually fucking within realm of reason.
Right?
Fucking
but
hell,
if it just turns out that Brock Lesnar's just being an asshole, which, by the way, they re-signed him. He re-signed a contract and to go a little bit longer.
God almighty. I
don't know why they did that.
We don't know why they did that. But in any case, Brock Lesnar is still the Universal Champion. Roman Reigns is getting a rematch in
the greatest Royal Rumble,
which is going to be a pay-per-view special event in Saudi Arabia later on this month.
And I can care less about that Universal Championship feud.
Well, yeah, now, because fucking hell, we've cemented the fact they can't get this fucking Universal Championship shit right anymore.
They can't get Roman Reigns right.
Yeah, exactly. Like, fucking hell. Like, the trouble is that it's not that Roman's doing anything wrong himself. It's just they're trying to make Roman out as if he was this underdog darling that is being held down and that he needs to defy the odds, the way that John Cena was being held down as the underdog.
But the problem is that that's not the way we're looking at Roman Reigns,
because we could see through that shit.
I mean, he's not the underdog. I mean, Jesus Christ.
No, like one of his nicknames that they force feed us is, oh, he's the big dog. The ring is his yard. He's the big dog in the ring. He's the big man. Like, how are you going to fucking do that and say that he's the underdog? Are you fucking kidding me? Do you guys not pay attention to your own shit? Do you not watch your own shit? I know that half of you guys don't watch your own shit because you're embarrassed at how bad you sound, but take a good long look and pay attention to your own promotion because you need some consistency.
And the problem is that after 2014, when they tried to work with after 2014, when they tried to work so many opportunities for Roman Reigns, like there were times when he was where he failed, or where he was like sidelined or whatnot, and they had many opportunities to actually hold Roman Reigns back and try to figure out what to do with him. But no, every time Roman drops the ball or gets a bad reaction, they just kept going.
This is the definition of insanity, ladies and gentlemen.
And I'm done. I'm just done.
No, this is the definition of insanity: doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result at any point. The whole show. What would you say overall?
The whole
level of 1 through 10. 1
honestly,
being dog shit, 10 being the greatest of all time.
Honestly, I would have to give it a 7, and I would give it a 7 because there was good things that happened at WrestleMania. The Charlotte and Asuka will be the number 1 in my book.
Yeah.
The Nakamura turning heel, that was awesome. I'm gonna like that a lot.
Ronda Rousey looking like a badass. Good.
She did great. She did very good. And fucking Undertaker finally shutting Cena the fuck up. That was good.
Yep. And that pretty much sums it up.
And
Daniel Bryan returning.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan returning. And you know what? Fuck you. I'm counting the pre-show. Cedric Alexander winning the Cruiserweight Championship.
Well, that's good and all. Like I said, they needed to rough that up a little bit in order to make it feel more of a competition and less of a spot show.
It was great. Yeah, it was great. I really didn't care much for the main event, especially now. So,
yeah, well, we'll wait and see where this goes from here. I guess that wraps us up, right, Joe?
Yeah, pretty much. What did you think of it?
Yeah, I'm about the same, about 7.5 out of 10 myself. My favorite bit was Daniel Bryan coming back and giving his badass offense on this. Ronda Rousey looking like a boss. Like, you see that she's like smiling and everything coming on down to the ring. And some folks are complaining like, oh, she's looking too nice. She's supposed to be a badass UFC girl. Like, why is she all smiles and bubblegum drops? Like, no, that's because the moment the bell rings, the moment she gets in, she goes into beast mode. She's a motherfucking boss. She's the badass that she deserves to be.
Oh, of course. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. Thank you for reminding me, Juan. I almost forgot to mention.
What?
Seeing Kurt Angle fucking wrestle at WrestleMania.
Yay.
Yeah.
Milkomania, as you like to say.
Go on.
All right, so you know what? That sums it up. And that does it for us. This has been our a review of WrestleMania 34. Our review probably went a little longer than most other people. That's because we like to ramble. Thank you very much, Jose Casabona, the head of the Ravens flock, for joining me here.
With pleasure.
And thank you very much for listening in to us, whether you're listening on SoundCloud or iTunes. Be sure to continue subscribing and tell your friends. Tell people about the Black Files. Tell people about the Ravens flock. And you can continue to follow us on Facebook.com/The Ravens Flock, Twitter.com/RavensFlock13, Instagram.com/The Ravens Flock Online, Patreon.com/The Ravens Flock. Become a patron. Give us a support starting off at as low as $1 a month. You can help us maintain our programs, which are half independent media, half entertainment, all love for the geek community. And of course, we'll subscribe and ring the bell to get notifications on YouTube.com/The Ravens Flock, home of Los Amigos Play and the main show, The Ravens Flock. Joseph, anything else you want to add before I let us go?
No, I'm good. You can go right ahead, man. Don't let me stop you.
All right, fine. Drop the mic. We're done. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the uncensored interview and review podcast of The Ravens Flock. This has been the Black Files, and